Hello and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Allmark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And we are today looking at items in the mini catalogue, which runs from January to June. There will be a link down below to my shop where you can buy any of the items within this catalogue. And if you spend a qualifying order, you can get things in the celebration catalogue, which runs from January to the end of February, absolutely free. So do have a look at the link over and you might pick yourself up something that you really want. Now, I've been asked by a lot of people how I get my ideas and what to do when your mojo leaves you. I think during these times, it's quite difficult sometimes to come up with ideas and things. And although I find ideas relatively easy because I take my walks out in nature, I look at magazines and things and get ideas with colours and all sorts of things like that. One of the biggest inspirations that you can get, which will always bring your mojo back, is to case the catalogue. So I thought today we would make a card, and I've got a couple. I don't know whether we'll get them both done today. I might tag one on to the next one, but I thought that we would have a look at the catalogue and replicate or copy one of the inspirations in there. And if we look at the front cover, we've got this lovely flower, I'm thinking of you, some ribbon around the back, and then we've got a border which they've done with the gilding flakes. Now, when you case or when you get inspiration from a picture, you don't have to take everything from that picture. You don't have to buy everything. You can have some parts of it, but you don't need to have all of it. So I thought that we would have a look at this one and see what we could do with it that was relatively easy and didn't use all of the items. In fact, the items you're going to need will be the stamp set, and you can just buy the stamp set and you can do the cutting out of the flower. You can fussy cut it, and you don't need to have this corrugated piece. You can just have it on a little strip. If you want to, or you've already got it as a bundle, if you buy it as a bundle, you save 10%. So that's always a good thing to do. You can take the dies from this and you can then die cut this out and you can do the little corrugated piece. So I'm going to do that, but we're going to take it right from the start and we're going to use what I have, not everything within the suite. So I'm going to put the picture across here so I can see what I'm doing. So the first thing we need is we need a mat. Now, this is Calypso Coral. I've got this in Flirty Flamingo because that's what I happen to have. You could take it in any one of the colours that you wanted. So you could take it in a mossy meadow, you could take it in a pool party, you could take it in a bumblebee or a crushed curry or a yellow. You don't need to do exactly what you want. So that is my card base for this one. Now, I haven't got the flake, so what I did was I took the rectangular stitched framelets and I have taken the largest one and the second largest one down. So the biggest one and the next one down. Excuse me. And then what you do is you will put them, I'm putting them upside down, but you put them so that you've got the right space in between them. Use a little bit of masking tape or something to stick them down, and then you are going to die cut them out. Now, in the catalogue that has just gone, which was the Christmas, the autumn winter one, I bought some of the brushed metallics, and like everything, I don't use absolutely everything and I keep things because I can use them again. You don't have to just, as a demonstrator, we demonstrate things that are active, but I'm all for helping people save. And I know that a lot of us brought the brush metallics. So I've done the frame in the brush metallic, and that's going to fit on like that. Okay, then we want a piece of this designer series paper. Now the designer series paper is called, and I will look it up for you as we go, so we have each piece on here. So I'm just going through on, that's the one we want on here, and it shows you the cards again in on here. It shows you a couple of the others, and as I say, we might try and do another in a minute. So I'm just going to go through and find where the suite is, because like everything I should have done that first. As I say, most of you will have received your catalogues by now. If you haven't got them, you can always go across and see them in my link that I always have to my shop, and go on to catalogues, and you'll see it in there. Now you see there's lots and lots of ideas that we can have a go at. So this is the papers. So the papers are here. I'm not going to get them all out, but you can see you've got some, I've shown you them before. You've got some really bright patterns and florals on one side, and you've got slightly more muted colours on the other side. And they are called the Fine Art Floral Designer Series paper. They're 12 by 12, and you get 12 sheets, 2 each of 6 double-sided designs. So that's the paper. So I have taken a piece of the paper. I need to take it back to the front cover so we can see what we're doing. So I've taken a piece of the paper that I cut down as I would for a card size. So it's going to be a little bit bigger than this, but we will cut this down. And I'm going to put this in on there, and I just need to take just a little bit off the top of here. So you just need to make sure that you've got a piece that will work, and I can take this off actually with just a pair of scissors rather than taking it with the, so it literally just needs to be a little snippy piece like this. So I'm just with some large snips just cutting it down, because that's, we just need a piece that's going to fit. So I'm going to put this, put this in on first. So we'll put that level. Let me get some wet glue. And you can see there's some lovely sort of patterns on both sides. I really do like this paper. I know that it's a bit busy for a lot of people, but you don't need to use all of it. And this, as I say, I think will look beautiful. So we're going to lay that in the center as best we can. And then I'm going to take this frame, and I'm just going to glue down on the frame. Like that. Get a little bit where my thumb was. There we go. And then we can put this frame down exactly in on here. So we have that covering it like that. Okay. So that's our frame done, which is how the picture is. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to do the flower. So for the flower, we are going to take the, move that just to one side. We're going to take this, which is the 2-step, and I need to make sure that I've got myself a, scrap that's going to work well. Yes, I can do it on one of these pieces. Just looking to see what I've got. So I've got a piece here, that'll work, because we also need to do the leaf as well. So let's take the 2-step flower, And this flower is in, that's one, take the other one out. I'll take all three out as we're doing it. So that's the inside, and then we've got the leaf. Okay, so let's do the leaf first of all. And if we look at the picture in here, it's been cut out, but only one of the leaf is showing, not both of them. So they've obviously snipped one of them. So we're going to do the leaf in the mossy meadow, and you can get all the colours from the back of the designer series paper if you want to, or you can, if you're a demonstrator, you can actually find the recipes for all of the cards in the catalogue in the online in the demonstrator our website. Okay, so colour wise, did I get them out? Yes, I did. Right, we're going to use Old Olive. So this is a really nice one step like that. So that's that one. I think my Old Olive is not quite as bright as it should be. It's like everything. I'm waiting for us to be able to order with customs and things. We've had problems getting the re-inkers in, so I'm loath to buy a new ink pad, but I might actually have to do that. But anyway, that's fine. Doesn't need to be bright. So that's that one. And then we've got the, I'm just going to tuck those back in so that they're safe. Always put things away as you go. Then we've got the two flowers, the two-step flowers. Now I find the easiest way to do it for me is to use the dark or the outside piece first and then the inside piece fill in. So I use the colour that we're going to have darker first, and then the inside piece is going to be not quite so dark. So I'm doing this in, doing both of them in the Blushing Bride. So that's the outside one, which is quite dark. Give that a quick clean up, but I wanted it to have that sort of pale colour in it rather than it being darker. So that's that one. And then the inside piece, what we don't want is for it to be too dark. So we're going to, have I got a scrap piece here? Yes, I have. So we're going to ink it up. And I do tend to ink it from both ways, because when it's a solid stamp, you want it to ink up as well as you can. Then, because we don't want it quite so bright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp it off once. And then the second one is going to come in. And I find if you line this little bit down at the bottom up first, and then turn it round to where you want those, the top pieces to go. So it's me being quiet while I do it, and then rest it down. Now, because it's a second generation, because we've stamped it off once, I always leave it just for a few seconds for the ink to soak in, and there you have the beautiful two-step piece on there. And that is, if we look at the colour on here, so we're going to go back to the catalogue because we're taking that. Now, there's this little piece inside, and I thought it was a stamp, and I hunted and I hunted and I hunted and I hunted, but it's actually not. They've done it with one of the Stampin' Right markers. So I thought we would have a go at doing it exactly the same. So I'm going to take a, let me have a look. I've got 3 different reds that I could use. and I keep my stamping right markers most of the time. So we've got this. They have used quite a dark red, so I'm just going to have a look and see if I want it in red, and I'm using the little side, so let's have a look and see. I think that that will probably work, won't it? Right, so let me have a look at the image. And you could do it in blends, but I think the tops of the blends would be a bit bright. So we're having a look at this in here so I can see what I'm doing. And you've got quite a solid piece down at the bottom. So let's have a look and see. So we're just doing little dots fairly close together on this bit. Then we're coming up a bit more. And then they get sort of smaller as they go up, like that. Okay, I'm quite impressed with that. So what colour did I use? I used, this is real red. You could use Poppy Parade, you could use any colour that's going to give you the red, but you've now got that lovely little tiny piece in the centre, which I think is very good. So that's those two pieces. We've then got to do our I'm Thinking of You. And that's got to be done in a bit of Pool Party. So let's get the Pool Party out, and I'm going to stamp it in. This is a darker colour, so I'm going to use Misty Moonlight because I don't want it to be too I don't want it to be too pale. I want the sentiment to be quite bright. So let's have a look at the stamp set again, and we're going to have the I'm Thinking of You. I really like that because that covers virtually everything. So let's have a look and find I'm Thinking of, whoops, I'm Thinking of You. I'm Thinking of You, there we go. And we'll put this on a block like that. It's a little bit big, but I think it'll be fine. Now, as it's a long one, put it down first, pick it up, and then you know it's going to be straight. Do it in the colour you want. I'm Thinking of You, and then we're just going to put it in like this. Like that. I'm Thinking of You. Beautiful. So now we can start to put these together. I'm just going to put these back so we don't lose them. So we've got I'm Thinking of You. We've got the outside of the flower. And we've got the inside of the flower. There we go. And we've done I'm Thinking of You. Okay, so now I just need to die cut those pieces out. And I'm going to take my little mini machine, and I just need to get the dies which I've put out of the way. Where did I put them with my catalogue? Here we are. Underneath on here. So the dies we need are, we need this one for the outside, which is there. We need one for the leaf, which is there. Whoops. And we need this long one for the sentiment, which is there. Okay, so I'm just going to put those out of the way a minute, and then I'm getting out the little mini, which I must admit I really do enjoy using. There's a few little techniques and things to using it, but like everything, you have to get used to a new machine, and because it's small, there are some little techniques that have been coming out that that make it a bit easier to use. So we have the base piece, and then we have the top piece, and I do turn mine over as I go all the time. So I'm going to put this, what we need to do is we need to cut this down a bit, because it will fit on. Let's try it on there. So I'm going to put the flower in on here and line that up with the pieces that we want in, like that. And then I'm going to put the top piece on, and then I'm going to hold it and just try and get it through. Now this is the problem that we've been finding with it sometimes, is that you have to, there we go, you have to have it just slightly off-centered, as it were, and then it'll go through really quite well. So let's take it right through. If you, let's put this down here, so anybody who's got one who is struggling a little bit with putting it through, this distance here, if it's all lined up, is a bit too much to go through the roller. So the easiest way to do it is to put it just offline, so it's not all together. You know, when you do a sandwich on the other machine, it's very easy to do. Well, on this one, just make sure that not everything is completely lined up. So we're going to put this one on here. We're going to take this one on here. Line it up, make sure I've got my little stem at the bottom lined up. And as I say, you can put your what's it called, your a bit of taping on there, but I tend to, because it's quite small, it is fairly easy to do. So just roll it through. I must admit, I find the little one is very good when you're only doing a couple of little pieces. So it is, if you're traveling, when we're allowed to travel, if you're caravanning, or just don't want, you want your little one out, being able to use it all the time, and you can keep it on your desk because it's quite small. And I must admit, when I do go and stay with friends or go away caravanning or you know, locally, it's quite nice to have something to take with you. Right, so let's do this again, and you just need to, have I got it through? Now, if you look at this, you can see I've got it all lined up together. So all I need to do is to just move it out a shade, so it's not all going in at the same time. And that should, says me, give it a little line up and a squeeze, and it will catch in a minute. Right, let me just move it back just a tad on there, and we'll get the first bit in first and then the next bit in. Come on, we've done the other ones, let's just get this one through. It'll go through in a minute. Yes, it will. Come on. This is where I always say that I shouldn't polish my table. Right, we'll try it another way. I'm just going to slide this all down a little bit to there. And then we'll put this up there a bit and take it in and see if that'll work. There we go. So as I say, it's just about not having it all completely lined up. It just doesn't, because it's quite tiny, it doesn't like it when it's all lined up but like that. That much is too much to go through it. And as I say, it does cut really nicely, but like everything, there's always little tricks and techniques to getting the best out of it. So, and it does make an awful clack when it goes back. But right, let's move this out of the way now. So, die cut those out, got my board and everything sliding about all over the place. Now this is my fault because I polished my table, so unfortunately it slides about. I need one of those non-stick mats, but never mind. Okay, so we've got I'm Thinking of You, and we've got the leaf, and we've got the flower that we've done with the lovely little speckledy bits that we did with a pen. So I can put these ones back in here carefully, and we can go back and have another look and see what we're doing with this card. So as I say, there's a few layers to it. There's a bit of building up with it, and this has on the recipe in the that we can find, it does say it's for the avid crafter. So it means it's just a little bit more. It's not as simple one as we would normally do. However, I don't think it's that complicated. So let's go back to it and have a look at the picture. Whoops, just dropped my pen on the floor. So we'll have a look at the picture here and see how they've set it up. So we've got the flower is going to come about there, just over the side of the frame. This is going to come down, but they've taken the leaf off. So let's just take I think I threw my paper snips on the floor. I think that's what that bang was. Nope, I've got them over here. Excuse me for reaching across to the other side of my table. Okay, so this is going to be cut off. So let's just take this leaf off. Like that. So we've got one leaf which is going to come there, and again that's going to go across a bit. So then we've got the flower that's going to come down like that. Then we've got the sentiment that's going to come across in the middle, and then we've got some ribbon. Okay, so I haven't got this ribbon, so let's have a look and see what ribbon I've got that we could use. I've got some. Let me go around and have a look and see. I got a bit out that I thought would work reasonably well. Okay, so again, we don't always use all our ribbon all the time. Now this ribbon was actually in a celebration pack, I don't know how long ago, a long time ago. And I thought that that would actually work. The ribbon that's in there has a gold bit to it. So again, use what you've got. Now we want it to be, it's got a tapered edge and then it just comes flat. So this is going to be to about there. And we'll take it to, whoops, make sure we cut it out to about there. Okay, so we now need some dimensionals and some glue. So let me get my dimensionals out of my box. I always keep them in a box. So we've got standards and we've got minis because I'm not sure what I'm going to use. And we're going to put this is going to come down first. I think I'm going to glue this first piece in actually. I like some things sticking out, but I don't like the lot. And again, it's difficult to see whether it's all been stuck or whether it's just been done with dimensionals. It might have been done with dimensionals to come over the actual layers that are there, but we'll see. We will see. So a little bit of wet glue on here, which I've got some on the end. And then that's going to go down at the, whoops, sticking it on there. It's going to go down at the bottom like that, and just a little bit up there. Okay, so we've got that piece just going over the side there. Then we'll have the flower. Now the flower is going to go up with dimensionals, so let's put that up with some standards. I think I'll have 3. So we'll put that up in on there. Like that. And again, it's just sort of slightly off. So we'll put that on there. Then we've got, these are the little finishing touches that really make things. So we've got this bit of ribbon which is going to come from that edge straight across. Now we need to work it so that it goes in between where I've got my 2 flowers, and I can put it down with glue. In fact, I'm going to put it down with glue this time. I normally put it down with some wet, because that is the, sorry, I tend to put it down with either tear and tape or the new roller. Now that's going to go literally in from the center, and I want that to come just there because it's going to come slightly underneath, and then this bit will come. Now that's a little bit too far out, isn't it? So I just need to, let's take this little piece up here because I've got it a little bit too long, and we're going to cut it down to about there. So let me just cut that piece off like that, and then I can just put that down like that, and then this is going to come in just on top, and this is going to go down with dimensionals, and we'll have that with the minis. So let's put the minis in. Oops. That in the center. So I think this first one is a fairly, although it says avid, I think it's a relatively easy one to achieve. It's not anything overly complicated. It's just a matter of building things up. So we want this to come exactly the same as there, that to come in on top. So you've then got your layers out. So if we look at the picture in the catalogue, which is this one, and we've done this. Now the only thing that is different, and I haven't done on this, is that you could have stamped just on the background or run it through an embossing folder to just give a slightly different look. But I think that that works as it is. I don't think you need the extra bits on it, but I think that's quite a pretty card. So that's the one for today. However, if you come back tomorrow, I'm going to be doing the second one in here. So if you go into the main cover, we're going to be doing this one because I really like that one. So I'll show you the components that I've used to make that one. And as I say, hope you enjoyed doing this one, and see you again tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching me. As always, please stay safe and well and be kind. Bye-bye.